Alright, this project is 2A. We're starting a new chapter in Excel. This project has a ton of stuff to go over, so I'm going to get started real quick here. First thing we're going to do is add some columns. I want to add multiple columns, so I'm going to select multiple rows to insert two columns. I'm selecting C and D, and I'm going to right click and choose Insert Columns. And since I had those two columns selected, it's going to insert two blank columns to the left of those two. So it just shifts everything down. So my goal in this is to divide the item number and the category for this column here. So this has two sets of data, a number and then a category. And I want to place the number here and then the category here. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and label these. So item number, and then next to that will be the category. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see better. Let's accept that. Alright, so there's a quick way to do this. It would take a long time to copy down each number and then transfer the category in the other column there. So there's something called flash fill that is going to do the work for us. So what I need to do is tell Excel what I'm looking for in an adjacent cell, so one that's attached to it. So I'm going to click and type in the 13129, which is referencing the item number in this column, and then press enter to accept that, or you could click the check mark up here, which leaves that cell active. So if you pressed enter, you'll need to go ahead and select that cell again. What we want to do is go to the Data tab and find the Flash Fill button. It's in the Data Tools group. If you click on that, it's going to analyze the column next to it and figure out what it's supposed to fill in for each row. So you could just scroll down and notice that it copied over the number into that column. So now we're going to do that for the category. So what I need to type in here is oak. You need to press enter before you can have access to the flash fill. So I'm going to press enter to accept that data and then select the cell again. Now I'm going to press flash fill, and it's going to now transfer that data into that column. So you can see that worked quite nicely. Alright, so now we don't need this column anymore. Column B has duplicate information. We just used it to split it up into these two columns here. So I'm going to select column B by selecting the letter at the top. I'm going to right click and then delete this column. Alright, now I'm going to move a column of information. So I want this category to be at the end of my data set. So I'm going to select column C. You can do this on the Home tab, or you can right click. Either way, what you're looking for is the cut option. So we're going to cut it. It's going to turn whiter, and then it's going to have this dotted line that's moving along the border of column C. So now it's cut. Now I need to choose where to paste it. So I'm going to take this and paste it into column H. So select the H, and then you can press paste, or you could right click and choose paste here, and it's going to transfer all the data over to that column. Now we're going to delete column C because it's empty. So just need to right click, delete columns. Now we're going to select columns A through G. So to select multiple, you just click and hold on the letter and then drag across, selecting the entire column. And now we're going to format the width so that all of the data fits inside the cells. So we're going to click on, let's see, Format, this button here, and then we want to find Auto Fit Column Width. So if any of the data was too large, it expanded the column to fit. And if any of the data was like there's too much room in the column, it shrank it down. So this one got smaller, this one got larger. So it just basically resizes it to fit the data that's inside. So again, that's Format, Auto Fit Column Width. Alright, now we're going to do something that we've done several times. We're going to merge and center. So we're going to go all the way to H. Click on Merge and Center and apply the cell style of title to the top row. Then we're going to select the second row all the way through H. And we're going to do the heading 1 style for that. Oh, I forgot to merge and center. There we go. Alright, now we're going to focus on this group of data here. There's several things that it's asking about. Total items in stock refers to the quantity in stock. Then the rest of these are all referring to the price. So we have a retail price column here with all the price data. So the first one, we need to find the total quantity in stock of all of our items. So we're adding all of these numbers together. So we're going to be summing, and if you click on the auto sum button, the arrow next to it, sorry, not just the auto sum, you get the sum option. And it populates the formula, the beginning part of it, with the equal symbol and then the special code for sum, which is SUM. And then it's asking us for the number set. So we need to put in cell address numbers. So we're starting with A11 is our first number. So I'm going to type in A11. Then I want to select from A11 all the way down to A39. So anytime you're selecting a range of cells, you will use the colon, and then you will type in the last number in that range. So A39 is our last number. So that's A11 through A39. We're going to add all those numbers. You can see this is previewing the numbers that are selected, which is correct. So I'm going to press Enter. So this is our total for total items in stock. The next thing we're going to do is find the average price. So to find the average, mathematically, you add all of the values together, then you divide by the number of items that you added. So we're going to find the average. Average is a very common function, but we're going to, it's found in the auto sum options because it's very common, but we're going to move to a different tab. We're going to go to the Insert tab and find our Functions button. Now in here you will find this is commonly used, but there's a whole bunch of functions. There's a whole long list of functions. So you can narrow it down by a category. I'm just going to go back to commonly used because it's one of these options. So I'm going to click on average and click OK. So now it needs to know the number range, which now we're in column D, but we're using the same row numbers. So it's D11 through D39. Enter. You don't need to close the parentheses, it will automatically do that for you, but if you like to, you can go ahead and close parentheses. So our average price is 107.89. Now the median price is similar to the average, but it finds the actual value that is in the middle of all the other numbers. So one of these is going to be the actual median price. So let's go back to the function button and find median. So you don't see it here, so we need to go to a different category. We're going to go to statistical, and it's alphabetical order. So in the M's, we're looking for median. Click OK, and again we're looking for the same data set, which is D11 colon D39. Enter. So the value 107.99 is our actual median price value. So that is found right here. Now we need to find the lowest price. In Excel, lowest is the minimum. So shorten that is we're looking for min. So in the commonly used category, you find the min value. And we're going to be analyzing the same column of data, D11 through D39. We're going to find the minimum price. Lowest price is 102.99. If you want to scroll down, you can see there isn't any value smaller than 102.99. So it worked. Now we need to do the max, which would be the highest price. So click on the function button again. This is a commonly used function. So you can click on max, click OK, and it's the same data set, D11 through D39. Enter. Alright, so we have completed all of the needed figures here with our Excel math, and we're going to now format a couple of these things. So we're going to click cell B4, which is this one here. We're going to format this as comma style. Whoops, didn't mean to click that. Go back to the Home tab, and we're going to format the number to be comma style. So if you get the hashtags, don't panic. It just means it's too wide of a number, and it's because it added 2 decimal places at the end. We don't need those decimal places, so I'm going to decrease the decimal to remove the decimal places. Now we're going to select the range B5 through B8 and apply the accounting format because these are dollar numbers. Alright, now we're going to select column E, and we're going to on purpose shorten this and make it smaller. We're going to change it to 50 pixels. Alright, now we're going to select the range A4. Whoops, I didn't mean to just click on it there. So we're selecting A4 through B8. So this block of text. And what we want to do is move this over to the center of our data set. So to move cells, you select them first, and then if you scroll over the edge, you get 4 arrows in each direction. So if you grab it right there on the edge, you can then move it. And then on the screen it will tell you which cells you're going to be shifting it to. So you want to shift it over until you see the D4 through E8. And we're going to release to drop it right there. So now you see there's a bunch of hashtags. That just means our column width is too narrow, so the numbers don't fit. So don't panic again, it's just a simple solution. We need to widen our column. So to do that, we're going to, between D and E, just display the pointers that go left and right, and double click twice, so just double click really quickly. That didn't work. So it's supposed to auto fit. So let's do between E and F. There we go. So anytime you want to quickly change the width of a column to auto-fit the contents, if you place your cursor in between the column and double-click, it will auto-fit the contents of the column. Alright, so now we're going to, with this range still selected, we're going to change the format. So we're going to click on the format for the cell. No, sorry. We want the styles. So we're going to format the cell style. We're going to change the color of the background and choose this blue accent, the 20% accent 1. So it's going to change the background to a slightly blue color, and it removes the lines. Alright, now we're going to, in cell C6, we're going to give this subtitle, or this table that we have here, we're going to call this tree statistics. Now we're going to change the font size, increase it to 14, and we're going to apply bold and italics, and we're also going to edit the color to be this blue color here, blue accent 1. Now I'm going to select the range C4 through C8, and I want to merge these cells together. So when you're merging and centering, that is across a row. There's other options. If you click on the arrow next to merge and center, I simply want to merge all of these cells together. So I'm going to click merge cells. Now I want my tree statistics to be nice and centered in this box. So I'm going to click the center option, which will center it left and right. And then I also want to middle align, which is this button here, which will align it top to bottom. Alright, now we're going to select row 9. This is our blank row. There's nothing in here. And then I'm actually going to select rows 9 through 11 because I want to insert 3 additional blank rows. So I selected all 3 of those. I'm going to right click on insert rows. And since I had 3 rows selected, it's inserting 3 additional rows. So you should have 4 blank rows between this tree statistics and our data set here. Now you can see that because 9 was touching that formatted cell that had the blue, it copied that to our new rows. So I want to remove that formatting. So I'm going to select the rows again, 9, 10, 11. And I want to clear the formatting. So click on, in the editing group, click the clear button and just click on clear all. Alright, now we're just going to check and see what happened to our formulas here. So we moved all of our data set down. So let's just double click and see that our data set has changed. It used to be D11 through D39. Now it's been updated to D14 to D42. So Excel will automatically shift the values of the cell numbers and keep the same data. So we're still summing and averaging and all that good stuff, the same numbers that we were before. Alright, now click cell, we're going to, in cell E10, or A10, sorry, so we're at A10, 10, we're going to type in oak trees. Then press the tab button just to go to the next cell to the right. Now we're going to put a new formula in here. So I go to the Insert, click on Functions, and we want to find Count If. So it's in the commonly used options. So I'm going to click here and OK to place it in. And what we want to do is count. If the category is oak, we want it to be counted. So we're counting how many numbers of oak there are here. So the data set that we're going to put in here is G14. You need the colon symbol, and then we want to go down to G42. So G42. And then we need to add the comma, and the criteria is a specific word. So if you're searching for a specific word, you need the quotation marks. So I'm going to add a quote, and then type in oak, and then close the quote. Now I'm done with this formula. I can close the parentheses and press enter. So I've counted everything that has the word oak. There's 13 of them. I could scroll down if I wanted to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it worked, it counted. Alright, now we're going to click cell H13. We're going to add another label here. We want to see the stock level. So this is the number of items we have in stock. And we're going to then create a formula in H14. And this is going to be a logical formula. So what we need to find is a function that allows us to ask a question. So we're going to be using the if question. We're going to click OK. So down here is our tip for what we need to place in first. We need our logical test. So what I want to do is create a formula that checks to see if the number in stock is less than 75. So in this particular row, we're analyzing cell A14. So if A14, then we want the less than symbol, which is the left pointing caret, is less than 75. That's our question. Is A14 less than 75? Then you'll see we need a comma after that. So we did the logical test. Next comes a comma. Then we need the value if true. This is what we want to be placed in the cell if it's true. If it is, then we want to order more. So I need to use quotes. So I want the word order to appear if it is less than 75. Then I need a comma next, then the value if false. So I'm going to now use quotes and then type OK. That means we have plenty in stock. Now we're OK. So I'm going to press enter and see what result. So the question was, is the number less than 75? The answer was no. And in our formula we said if no, then place OK in the cell. And it did. So our formula did work for this one row. So now we have a formula we can copy. We're going to go ahead and copy this down the row and see if this is working. So this is less than 75. It says order. So our formula did work and we were able to copy it. Alright, now we're going to format this to make order stand out some more. Okay. So now we're going to select the range H14 through 42. And we're going to place a conditional formatting, which this is going to format the actual text that's in the box. So on the Home tab, you can find conditional formatting in the Tables group. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose Text that contains. So I need to find Highlight Cells rules, text that contains. Now I want to tell Excel what I'm looking for. This is the text I'm looking for. I want to find anywhere that it says order. And then these are my options here that I could choose from. Light red, fill with dark red text. Yellow, fill with dark yellow text. Then you have green. So let's choose green fill with dark green text. And then choose OK. Alright, so now you can see that anytime it says order, it's highlighted in green, so it stands out more. That is a conditional formatting. Alright, now we're going to select cells A14 through 42, and we're going to add more of a graphical indication of how much we have in stock. So we're going to go to the Styles group, or sorry, in the Tables group, we're going to go to the conditional formatting again, and we're going to add data bars. I'm going to choose the one that is yellow or orange. It looks yellow on my screen. So we're orange data bars. And you can see here that the ones that have a smaller stock, it's indicated visually by this kind of a bar graph here. And the one that we have the most in is all the way full. Everything else is in comparison to that has less. So it's just a nice way to visualize a quantity of number. Alright, now we're going to so we want to select the F14 through 42. And this we're going to find and replace a word. So we're going to choose replace from the find and select options. We want to find erosion. Whoops, this happened to me earlier. I'm not sure why it does that. Let's get out of that. Sorry about this. Now we have to go undo. Let's try this again. Erosion is what I'm looking for. Then I want to replace with oh, it did that thing again. Let's go ahead and type it in. Erosion control. I'm going to click on replace all. And it says all done. We made 12 replacements. And it did all of them except for the first one. For some reason my program is glitching, so I'm just going to type it in. There we go. All right. Now we're going to go to cell A44. So if I want to quickly go there, I can just type it into the name box up here. So I'm going to type in A44 and then enter. Now I'm at cell A44. Alright, now we need to go to the Formulas tab, which I don't think that's going to work. So we need to go to the Insert function. We're going to insert the date and time. So it's not in here. Let's see if we can find date and time from this is a category. So let's go ahead and just do date and then click OK. So this puts the year, month, and day in that box. Oh, hold on. So let's go ahead and format that again. So insert a function. We wanted date and time, but I wanted to choose now from the list. So it's always going to replace the value with the current date and time. Press enter. Alright, now we're going to go back to the top. You can notice here it's hard to really see, you can't really see our column names. So this data, you're not sure what you're looking at here. Until you get to the top, then you can see, oh, this is quantity in stock, then item number, yada yada. So what I want to do here is freeze these rows in place, so as I scroll I can view the titles with the data. So I'm going to select row 13, actually row 14, sorry. And now in the we're going to the View tab, and we're going to freeze panes, and then we're going to click on Freeze Pane. And let's see what happens now. When I scroll down, you can see if I scroll down here, so I have to zoom out for you to see this better. Now when I scroll down my data, this row here stays locked in place, so I can see the category names here. It's very helpful. Alright, now we're going to unfreeze, so we can scroll down our data again. So now click anywhere inside your data set, and we're going to click on the Insert tab. We're going to insert a table. So it's examining the data here, and it's already determined that A13 through H42 has my data. So I can just verify that this is A13, that's correct. I'm assuming H will be my last column here, and 42 would be my last row. And my table does have headers, that's what these labels are called. So that checkbox should be checked. Click OK, and it's created a table. And what that's useful for is now I can sort my table based on certain data. So I could do alphabetical or lowest to highest value, so on and so forth. Alright, so with this we have a special design tab when you're in the table. And in the styles group, we're going to click the More button. And then under Light, we're going to choose the style Light 16. So you may need to scroll over it to find Light 16. Now we're going to click in the header the retail price arrow. So each of these columns now has an arrow. So click the one for retail price. And we're going to click Sort A to Z, which would be smallest to largest. So sort ascending. So now it's sorted this entire set of data from the lowest priced item to the highest priced item. So now let's click on the category and sort Z to A. So we're sorting descending. So it should go alphabetically from the highest value, P, which is pear, and then to C. Let's go back and sort again, this time A to Z. So notice there's a little tiny up arrow in this that's telling us that we're currently sorting this data by category. Alright, now let's select the item number arrow and sort that smallest to largest. So that's ascending in order, smallest to largest. So you can sort your data by any of these categories. So now, what if I wanted to display just one item group? So we have certain categories. What if I just wanted to see all oak or all maple? That is called filtering. So we can sort, that's what we just did here, but you can also filter. So I'm going to click on the category arrow. I'm going to choose filter. That brings up the box with all of the items selected. So now we're viewing all of the different categories. I'm going to deselect all and just choose maple and then click OK. So now my data didn't disappear. I've just filtered out anything that was not maple. So I'm just viewing maple right now. Alright, so now click anywhere inside the table, just select any cell. And then we're going to, in the design tab for the table, we're going to click to add a total row. So just click the checkbox. Now it adds a total. It's just the total number of items that we're viewing right now is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it places the number just below that. Now let's click cell A43. And then we're going to click the arrow next to that. And we're going to choose sum. It's going to give us the total quantity. Now we're going to click the category arrow and we're going to clear this filter. So we go to filter, then select all again so we can see all of our categories. Click OK. Alright, now we're going to click the landscape use arrow. Sorry, I gotta find that. Got that. Alright, so we want to now filter this by the landscape use arrow. Click on filters, deselect all, and we're just going to display the erosion control. Then click OK. Notice that the numbers have updated for the quantity, and the number of items that we're analyzing right now is 13. Let's go ahead and clear that filter from the landscape use. Now we're going to remove our total row at the bottom. So click on the Design tab, and then find the total row and deselect the checkbox there to remove it. Alright, I think we are done with this project. I know that's a lot. We did go over quite a bit of stuff. So if you, while you're doing your next project, you may need to refer back to this video. These steps we've only done one time. So if you didn't get it the first time we went through it, you'll be able to access this video in Google Classroom attached to this assignment, and you can view it again later if you need to. That's it for now.